you tend to sense when there's conversation about you, and your name is being used so directly, and it's for people who are closer to you, the stronger it is. So I'm hearing that in your life you're used to negative talk, so that power has really worked against you rather than with you, is what I'm getting the sense of. So I'm hearing from Spirit that's part of why this separation needed to happen, is because it was making you lose trust within yourself. And that's going to be for all parties associated here now. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take that how it is. The main things that are coming through is that you have done the work. You have cut out this element is gone. That third party, that third situation, what needed to be removed from your connection is in fact gone. And it was a catalyst to propel you into your healing, into trusting yourself again, so that you can trust your partner. So these are the key elements that are going to probably come up in your reading. But let's go ahead and get into the cards. Okay, so first we have our soul card. Okay, so I have a couple of interesting things coming through. The colors seem so important to me, and so that's what I'm hearing is the way that you have been able to rebalance your energies have been because you essentially, I'm hearing like creative expression. You found a way to express yourself externally to show, yes, okay. So you are the roots, right? You are these roots. And so you're very internal. A lot of your thoughts stay within you. And I'm also getting like there's a lot of emotions within you that just you didn't used to go anywhere. And so except for like inside, maybe some negative projections. Ooh, I just heard maybe you shared, that's why you shared with the third party, because you felt more comfortable with that. So yeah, there's just definitely a lot of sadness though, a lot of restraint within you, right? And so what Spirit is showing me though is that you have taken every essence of who you are. You've taken those emotions and those feelings that you were going through, and you have worked through that blockage. I'm hearing like you grew around it to where you were like, you know what, I can't express myself in this way, but I can do it in this way or this way. I'm hearing you found multiple avenues, right? So your expression is the trunk. You are the roots. Your expression, your words, your ideas, your thoughts and your emotions are the trunk. And then you have been able to then push out into the different branches and the leaves into how you truly express yourself. So something coming through for me from Spirit is the reason why you have learned these different branches and how you were able to express your ideas, your words and emotions is because the leaves are like the people. So you can't reach certain people if you express your ideas in a certain way. So for like if you're expressing yourself here, you're only reaching here, maybe some here, but you're not able to reach these people. So that's why you grew another branch, so you can reach even more. And so that's why you, I'm hearing, really needed this separation. One, so that you could learn this ability and be so far reaching. I just heard, this is so interesting. So if you aren't like a creative, if you aren't like doing a very artistic creative expression and you're like, that doesn't really sound right, I'm hearing public speaking also conveys this, because you have to learn different social styles. You have to learn different speaking techniques, different habits when you take on that role. So that is also still something coming through for me. That also might be very important if you are unsure about if this is you and your partner, how you can connect your partner to it, because maybe you're like, my partner is not creative. Ooh, sorry. Something that just came through for anyone who's like, my partner definitely is not creative. They never have been. That's going to be something that you discover in your reunion. Because if you were very creative and that was a part of why you were separated, is because of you guys weren't able to connect in that realm, well, then that's something that they worked on. and that's something that you guys are going to be able to bring together. So I'm hearing from Spirit, like, let yourself be surprised by your reunion. Yeah, I'm hearing no matter who you are in this connection, based off of our earlier things, a lot of these messages from now on are going to be for everyone. So we're just gonna, unless they're separate again, I'll say it. But the reason why I'm saying that is because for everyone in here, I'm getting this sense that there is just this depression, and you can't just be positive all the time. You can't just be happy. And so Spirit is showing me that that is something beautiful about your connection, is that you are able to live in your sadness, share your sadness. Maybe your partner too is going through those same things. And so you're able to kind of sit with each other in these emotions, but not bring each other down. Like, it's still an uplifting, relieving moment. I just heard like misery love its company, but it's like in the positive way. So most of the time when you hear that, it's like, misery loves its company, like you're going to drag people down and you have to complain or share your sadness. And instead, this is like a beautiful thing, like misery does love its company. And so you guys find that like social aspect and healing aspect of where that's saying actually, like, what that emotion actually is asking for, without it needing to be like pushed to the side for other people's emotions. Again, because I don't know why I said again, but because you guys are mirrors of each other is why it's going to be just like this perfect moment where you can essentially sit in silence and just enjoy each other's and just feel comfortable next to each other is really what I'm getting. So that was a lot about your connection. Main thing I want you to take from this soul card, if nothing else from your own intuition, is so I keep experiencing interruptions and small things that are coming up during this reading. So something coming through with that from Spirit is you are going to still face disappointments, even leading up to your reunion and within your reunion, because you are still in this more emotional state. And that is why Spirit is wanting you to understand these elements and emotions of yourself, because as you come into reunion, you're meant to come into reunion. You guys are meant to support each other, but you are still learning to be individuals after the fact, is what I'm hearing. You are still two separate trees. Even if your roots start to grow together, your expressions will still end up being separate for the most part. Like, you guys will have branches that are for you and are for them, is what I'm hearing. The other things I had wanted you to take is the fact that a lot of this is the fact that you have learned how to express yourself in more ways and to just enjoy the process as much as you can, because we're not here to shame the emotional journey that you're on. We're here to encourage and embrace it. Something that just came through is you take the moment that were all your joys, you hug them tight, and then you release them into the sky and let them be the bright shining stars. And then you take all of the disappointments and you hug them too, and then you let them fill out the night sky to help those stars shine brighter. With that, let's go ahead and continue on with some encouragement. So we have just one. We have nature. Sometimes all you need is to go outside, breathe the fresh air to remember who you are and where you want to be. Okay, so this is just pure and simple advice. Just get out into nature. Something coming up is remembering who you are and where you want to be is going to be so important. So maybe like doing some shadow work, writing, putting up a vision board around that, and just manifesting exactly what that means and looks like to you is going to be so important for you and your twin flame reunion. Especially, something I'm hearing is like, yeah, I mean, you guys are going to be mirrors of each other, but a cute date idea that you guys are probably going to love is like sharing those vision boards with each other, because it's going to be even more recognition and confirmation for you that they're the one for you. Oh, something that came up is this might actually be something, if you know your connection and you're in therapy, this might be something your therapist has even talked about. Or if you're unsure, bring it up to your therapist and they might be like, wow, I was thinking about mentioning that, or what a great idea. That sounds perfect. Go ahead, you guys make your individual vision boards and talk to each other about it. Because sometimes maybe you need to make that in separation, I'm hearing, and then come together rather than making it together. Like, that's you can do this first one separate, and then years to come you can do them together, is what I'm hearing. So yeah, again, kind of echoing the fact like you are an individual tree right now. Even if your roots are starting to touch, you will become a great grand tree together later. Right now, enjoy where you're at. You just cut off the third corner. You're still an individual corner. You don't need to cut off yourself to just become one entity. You will always still have your individual self, is what's coming through. Okay. So now we have your divine energy. All right, live life to the fullest. I love this for you guys so much. Like, I cannot stress how much there's just like this gentle energy coming through that's very different from pile one. So I say that because I feel like they got a lot of like, here's how, like, you are happy situation, and yours is like, hey, it's okay to be sad, because even when you're sad, you're able to live life to the fullest. You're able to still find those moments that bring you joy and give yourself grace. So again, something coming out is the fact of like going out into nature, like what makes you happy. Even if it's the smallest thing. I'm seeing a diamond too, right, coming out. So I'm hearing like you probably have recently gotten a new idea, and I'm hearing you might have thought like, oh, that's pretty stupid, or like, well, that'd be a waste of time, but it really makes you happy. Why not do it? Like, or maybe it's a far off goal. Oh, I just heard something like maybe there's this trip you always wanted to take, and you're like, oh, I'll never be able to do that. Like, make a savings goal, and make little rewards along the way to make sure that you're enjoying yourself as you're going along with that savings goal to make your dream come true. Like, even like I'm hearing like it's a love dream come true, in the sense of like it's a dream trip, it's a dream connection. And there's something too that's coming through from spirit is like, as you do this, as you step into those small moments that really like give you back the joy that you used to have. And something too that's coming through is because it really sounds like there has been like a trauma that has happened within this group. And so a lot of times that happens within that trauma. There's two things when trying to reclaim your joy. Is the first is reclaiming things that were yours to begin with, that made you happy to begin with before they were tainted by that new trauma memory. And then the other is being changed by the trauma to where like some of the things that you found joyful before no longer are, and just accepting that for what it is, and saying, maybe doing some why question work when you're like, why do I still enjoy this? Why do I not enjoy this? You can do that for anything. And then you can like look it up. Like I heard like something is everything just, I literally was like, I wish I had an example, and then 3 came to mind. Now I'm trying not to mix them. So one example is that you can be like, I really like hiking. And why do I really like hiking? Like I really like being in nature, and really like kind of like that aspect of climbing and getting higher. And so then it's like, maybe there's a rock gym, and then something, and then you discover bouldering, which is something you would have never heard of if you hadn't asked that why question. So that's just one example. I'm only going to take that example because so many more are just like flooding in. Okay, we'll do one more. Fine. Sorry. So the other example coming through is, okay, 2 more. Yep. One other example coming through is like, maybe you are a reader and you're like, what books really bring you joy? Why do they bring you joy? Is a great question to ask. And then just looking up like, oh, you know what? Like looking at the last 5 books you read, and maybe you notice out of 5 of them, 2 of them are the same genre. And you're like, maybe I should look more into why I'm reading that genre. Like maybe you all of a sudden are, maybe you really like background stories and character building, like the prequels of a series, and you're like, that's interesting. I really like understanding where a character comes from and how they got to be who they are today. Sounds like you like memoirs, you know? And so you start diving into nonfiction in that very interesting way because it's written in a very a narrative fiction style, you know? Okay. Then the third example that really wanted to come through is like maybe you really enjoy scrapbooking. Like you grew up having scrapbooks, pictures, and like doing that with your family. Oh, this is something coming through, especially if this is like a toxic family. But it was a trait that you used to do with your family, and it really like made you feel just loved and loving. And so now you're like, maybe I'll do scrapbooking for myself. And maybe you're like, oh, I wish I had more pictures. And so in the meantime, maybe you just start taking pictures of your life, but you look into like getting all those extra scraps and papers, and then you find yourself to, I'm so sorry, I just lost what it's called. But there's hand lettering, and then I keep wanting to say letter scrapping, but essentially when you like do layers of cardstock to make an image. And oh, I'm so sorry, I literally lost the end of it, but my point is that as you look into one element of your project, it expands into learning these other skills. And that's exactly how you develop all those extra branches and how you express yourself, right? So maybe this is something you're already used to doing. You're like, I got this. I don't need any more examples. Tell spirit it's good, you know? And so you're already like, I'm just going to encourage myself to follow those steps even more and live my life to the fullest. Okay, that got a little long. Let's go ahead and step into the tarot for you. So we have the Four of Swords. Okay, right away. Yeah, okay. So right away, what's coming through for me in this? One, I also am getting the Death card. I'm getting the Death card coming up through this very much in the sense of, okay, you have a lot of, what did I say earlier? You guys definitely are very psychic. You have a lot of spirit guides, a lot of angels. If you are not currently developing your abilities, I encourage you to, because they want to talk to you. This is just a general reading, so it's like having a room full of councils. Wow. Okay. Oh, yeah, for not just you and your twin flame, right? Anyways, something coming up too as you decide to develop your abilities. Oh, yep, especially if you're also just do public speaking, or you or your partner. It's going to be imperative that you learn to understand how to handle a rowdy room and rising voices, people who want to shout out and interrupt, because that has been all we have experienced during your reading. So I can only imagine that as this might be part of the reason why you haven't developed these skills, is because you didn't want to bring on that navigation yet. But something coming through from spirit is the fact that, one, trust in your abilities, because I'm hearing you are a master. Yeah, that is okay. You can consider yourself a master. So no matter where you're at in your process, you will continue learning, but you can consider yourself that you will be top tier. Oh wow, I'm getting the sense that a lot of people who like shadows were being triggered in the sense of ego. So definitely work on that how you need to, because this is another way how you need to understand that you are able to command a room. We don't have affirmations, but if you want to take an affirmation, definitely let it be that. You command a room. Okay? All right. With that, let's get back to our reading. So we have the Four of Swords coming out with very heavy death vibes in it. What I am saying, and then I was also thinking of Fern Gully. Hexes, for those of you who aren't read up on Fern Gully, Fern Gully is the last rainforest, and Hexus is a toxic smoke cloud that is trying to destroy the rainforest, essentially. There's a lot more social commentary in the movie. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I'm trying to wonder if it holds up. Maybe I need to rewatch it. Anyways, So part of the scenes, though, spoiler, I guess, is that when he's defeated, it is through the fact that there is new growth that happens from within him. Okay, so we've already gotten from you the fact that you were the roots, and in order to express yourself. So something that is really wanting to make itself clear from this card and its imagery and everything coming through is oh yeah, right? That third, you have gotten so many messages. I'm like, oh, right, that third party was part of the situation. So this is Spirit confirming that that third party, whatever needed to be removed, has been removed, and that you are now taking that, yes, right? What did I say? You were growing through the blockage. So you were going through and around it. So it still is a part of you. So something too with your Four of Swords to recognize is that this is a part of you. So this is something that you are going to need to handle. And maybe that's why your psychic abilities were coming out just now, because maybe that's something that you still need to accept that is a part of your daily life. Sorry. Okay. Interesting. So couple of things happening. Everything I just said, right? Very true. You need to accept that for some of you who were the person who like were a part of the third party situation, or maybe feel responsible for how things went, there is a certain element that you have to accept, but it's no longer about shame. It's about guilt. It's about saying like, how am I going to prove, how am I going to commit that how am I going to promise that I will not do this action again? So, yes. And then, sorry, something else coming through from Spirit is the fact, again, about your twin flame reunion, is that you guys will be in periods of rest. So you're not meant to be at your top tier. You are not going, so it may seem like you're not in alignment. You're like, Spirit, if this is my twin flame, then why is everything terrible? It's not. It's just that you both are still learning and healing, but you guys were able to come into reunion, and it's going to be important for your journey, is what I'm hearing, is that you guys come together at this time in order to support continuing growing. Yeah. It's almost like you guys have been planted next to each other for a while now, and you're still growing, but you now are like becoming acquainted with each other. So something too coming through from Spirit is, for some people in this connection, you may start off as friends. That may be what you want, but for some of you who are like, isn't this my twin flame? Shouldn't we be in a relationship straight away? It's going to be anything that is triggered within you during your connection. If you are just friends, I'm hearing that they will have romantic feelings towards you as well, but you, one, don't want to go into a situationship, and so that's why you're going to be like, if we're going to have a boundary as friendship, then let's have that boundary, and any shadow work that comes up, that's going to be for you to work on. And then, because, yeah, I'm hearing like that's part of something you've already learned, is you cut through all those toxic things that were holding you back in not only connecting to yourself, but then connecting to your twin flame. Because a lot of this has been that you needed to connect to yourself first so that you connect to your twin flame. And so Spirit is saying that that is still going to be a part of your journey, is that you are still connecting to yourself even as you connect to your twin flame. It's just dual fold now because you're living life to the fullest, and we trust you. It's really what's coming through. It's like Spirit is literally saying like, you're ready for this next stage in your life, even if it seems a little too soon, is what I'm hearing. So it might seem like that, but it's because you're just growing around the shadow. So your shadow is still being seen, but that might be very important for your connection, is what I'm hearing, is before your roots are completely covered up and just so far deep down in the earth, it's important for someone else to know your roots and where you are and who you come from. Oh, I just heard like your nature. It's important for someone to understand your nature. Yeah, and that's part of your shadow, accepting your nature. Okay. Not trying to shout. So next for you. Okay, we have the Eight of Wands coming up. Spirit is coming through. Live your life to the fullest. Second message, just reconfirming that. But also that you... Ooh, yeah, I'm here. Oh, okay. This is the only deck that kind of has a different Eight of Wands message for me. Because it's more of a nest. It's like we see a nesting energy. And Eight of Wands normally is like a, we're gonna get out there and put all these things going. So we're still coming in with this gentle energy, but this is still an Eight of Wands saying you have many ideas, you have many branches. Sorry. You have many branches that are able to support you and this connection. So we're seeing like this is like the building of a family, a foundation. Oh, okay. So like, because fours normally represent foundations, and so we're seeing 8, which is 4-4, right? So this is confirmation from Spirit that you are 1, on the right path, 100%. 2, that this is coming at the right time. And 3, that it's still just a simple, gentle, nurturing energy for you. So much. The main thing that Spirit, we still have one more card for you, and then we have your book divination. But the main thing that is coming through from Spirit for me for you is that it is just important for you to feel, for you to trust yourself, to feel accepted, and to completely, like your emotions, everything about you. And did I say feel supported? If not, then that's really coming through. Feel supported, find your happiness, and feeling accepted. And trusting yourself. There we go. Okay, so we have one more. Okay, so this is the Five of Pentacles and the Hierophant. Okay. 1, you do feel like this is a Five of Pentacles time. You're feeling very left out in the cold, which is why you are getting this connection to come through. So this is Spirit saying, like, so much of this has been like, I'm not sure. This is a little, like, is this the right time? This is why it's the right time. Because you're not being left out in the cold. This is why it's the Hierophant. Sorry. This is the Hierophant for so many reasons, but this is why it came out, this card combination came out for you today in this reading. Because this is confirmation that, like, you are meant to be, like, I'm getting, like, it almost feels like arranged marriage vibes. Like, so for some of you, you're in a connection, and then, right, so we're going to separate them again. So for some of you who know your connection, it needed for you to separate, to get that third party out of the situation so that you then could become your individual self and live your life to the fullest, find your joy, and accept your true nature. This is Spirit coming in, confirming with a Hierophant who represents marriage, tradition, morals, values, that you and your partner do have the same morals and values, because you were questioning that, right? You're like, we said certain vows and like those felt broken to me. And so Spirit is coming through saying, like, no, here, they have gone through their lessons, what they needed to learn, right? Maybe that more creative soul, and they have recognized that they maybe weren't following through on their vows, on the morals, who they want to be represented as. And so I'm hearing too that they had, right, your mirrors, they had to become more accepting of their own nature. And then they've brought it, part of your reunion is the fact that you bring back together this lesson that you learned, how to accept yourself and how to put it into a traditional view, format, commitment to each other again. So that's again why I'm hearing it's important that you might be going slow and maybe start out as friends, because a lot of that is like you still need to rebuild trust. But Spirit, something else coming through is that every question that you have, all the answers lie within you, and that you really can trust that. Again, I'm getting that you are a master. So the reason I want to bring this up, because so pile 1 had the High Priestess, and we were seeing them more as an apprentice who were sharing information from above to those of the collective. For you, it really is, you're the roots. You have the information. So Like you are able, you access past lives, you access the Akashic records, you access literal libraries. Like you are a researcher, is what I'm hearing. Again, public speaking coming up is like you write your own speeches, you don't have someone else do it for you, is kind of like your whole vibe. And that's why like you're a master, because you not only know the thing, you also can do the thing, is what's coming through. And that's you and your partner. And so part of why that's coming through too is because that's why you guys came together in the beginning. And so part of your reunion is recognizing that. And then for our individuals who moved away from toxic families, this is telling us that you, again, you're still a master, right? That message did not go away. You are still the master. You still know how to do the thing. And that's why you moved away from the family. So this is Spirit saying to confirm to you that this is coming in at the right time, because you have felt left out in the cold, whether or not it was because you decided to go outside and walk away, because that was what was best for you and your energy. But Spirit is saying that you have this partner who I'm hearing is also out in the cold, and that's why you guys are able to find each other and build this new sanctuary, is what's coming through. So that last part is going to be for everyone, is that you guys will build a sanctuary of sorts that not only supports you, but supports, like I said, great collectives. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and leave that there, because a lot of this has just kind of been echoing, like, you know what you're doing. You have put in the work. You can trust yourself. You can trust in this new beginning with the partner, as you guys both learn not only to accept yourselves, but to accept each other. Yes. Okay. So last but not least, we do certainly have our book divination. So let's go ahead for pile 2. Okay. All right. Kundalini awakening. A Kundalini awakening is one of the effects of meeting your twin flame. The Kundalini is the purpose for me to come into your life in divine timing to spark you into remembrance of your true, infinite, and immortal nature. And so when a person meets the half that is his very own, whatever his orientation, whether it's to young men or not, then something wonderful happens. The two are struck from their senses by love, by a sense of belonging to one another, and by desire, and they don't want to be separated from one another, not even for a moment. Plato. The twin flame energy can be a hurtful and exhausting process. Some of the solar flares happening in humanity, bringing new waves of energies, can bring up some deep emotions, which are closely related to past karma, which aligns with the inner chakras. The twin flame love is one of the deepest and divine love. And when we meet our other half, the actual half of ourselves, whether he be a lover from childhood or a lover of another sort, in an awe of love and friendship and intimacy, and one will not be out of each other's sight, as I may say, even for a second. Kundalini awakening makes us ready for the twin flame journey, although not everybody goes through a Kundalini awakening, may be on their twin flame path, but those souls who are will have experienced a partial awakening so that they can begin to clear old karma and accumulated repressed energies from many lifetimes. Please forgive my mispronunciations and pausing, but this is really echoing the fact of you have gone through a partial awakening. You are still going through the thing, but it is okay. You are meant to meet your twin flame at this moment, and you aren't going to want to be separated from each other. So yes, that's why you're going to be taking it slow, because this is in fact your twin flame. And it's also did bring in the fact that there is a certain bit of recognition, right, that this may be someone from your past. So I'm actually, for those of you who think that you don't know who your twin flame is, something coming up is it actually might be someone from your past. Even I'm hearing it like, don't try to figure it out, because you won't be able to, is what Spirit is confirming. But just that you will kind of really recognize them. So whether it's just a past life or whether it's literally someone from your past, there will be a sense of recognition when you come into alignment with them. Something too of important for those in just separation who are like, yes, I know who my twin flame is. You're going to get that same recognition. That's again why you need to understand your own intuition and your own energies, and accept your psychic abilities, accept your nature for what it is, because that is going to only support your reunion. Okay. Pile 2, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. Thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you so much love and encouragement as you move through this journey. And I didn't mention it, but another sense that is coming through for you for timing is, I would say, within the next 3 to 4 months would be very much expected that you guys are at least starting a friendship. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there because you guys will at least be starting a friendship or a new project together where you come into acquaintanceship. So that's going to resonate for however you need to for the different piles. Don't forget to live your life to the fullest. That is the, if you do nothing else, that is just some encouragement there, because we understand that you are in a healing moment. So thank you for being here again. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if this resonated with you. Comment below, let us know what you're going through, and gain some support from a like-minded community. And I will definitely see you guys next time. Blessed be. Merry meet and welcome, pile 3. If you chose this stone, then this is your twin flame reunion reading. So let's go ahead and get started with reading into the stone itself. So right away, something to note for me on this is it really just seemed to me, it reminded me of like the walls. I'm seeing 2 separate kinds now, but it really reminded me of like the walls of like a gold mine, or also the walls within like a watery cave when you're really deep down. So either way, we're really seeing that it is reminding me of the stone walls that you get when you are deep inside the earth, and that there is another element within that, whether it is water or more additional earth, right? In the form of gems or gold. And so what's coming through for you and your connection is so interesting, because it's so interesting because for your reunion, okay, this is gonna sound weird, but it's almost like you guys don't see the value of yourselves. You only see the value of your partner, to the point where you're like, they're a gold mine. I need to like jump on this train and like be a part of this moment. So I'm hearing you really look up to your partner and vice versa. And so it's this interesting mirror. I'm saying it's like a dirty mirror where you're not like truly seeing yourself, but you're able to, like you're not able to clearly see yourself, but for some reason you're able to clearly see your partner. But if it was a clear mirror, you would understand that what you're seeing is also what you're capable of. So something coming through is, oh, this is so interesting. So something coming through is like you guys, as you come into your reunion, you might be like study partners. And so you might think like they're so knowledgeable, they're so supportive, they're so accepting of like the way you think and the way you share ideas. And then the thing is that they're thinking the exact same thing about you, but you both are not used to that acceptance in another person. That you kind of like, I'm hearing like you're so, there we go. You're so used to being like inside of yourself that you're not, that when you share certain parts of yourself, you don't really like venture that far outside. You're like, hey, it's kind of like really light and bright out here, but here's what I have to say. And then most people are like, what was that mumbling? And then you're like, I'm not going to repeat it again. And you go back inside. And instead, this person like leans in to listen to you. And it's like, oh, I missed what you said. I will make sure to listen better next time. And then you're like, well, I guess I could repeat it this time. And that's kind of like this really like beautiful inching out. And I just saw like a snail's like coming out of their shell, like getting like, oh, and like opening up to spring is like really the imagery that I just got. And so yeah, take that how it resonates. It's a very I'm like, why can't I see this energy fully? Because it's a dirty mirror. Obviously, I'm channeling your energy. So, of course, I can't fully see exactly how you need to. So, something that we're going to get probably going through this is like, how can you clean that mirror and really see the true image of yourself? So, I'm hearing something from Spirit is right away. If you maybe suffer from body dysmorphia, or if you just don't look at yourself in the mirror because like you don't really want to accept your body for what it looks like, this is going to be a great practice that you include, looking at yourself in the mirror. You don't even think, maybe play some music. Who cares? Like, it's just looking and taking note. This is going to sound weird, but I just was thinking like a scientist. So being very objective about it. I'm hearing that's part of the reason why you're part, like this person you enjoy so much, because not like they're attractive or anything, but you just let yourself see them for exactly who they are rather than judging them. Because that's just who you are as a person, is what I'm hearing. Like, you and your partner, I'm hearing, don't typically judge others. So outwardly, like, there's, of course you have opinions, is what I'm hearing. Like, you're not a pushover, but you aren't one to be like, oh yeah, I hate that, just all the time. Instead, you're probably gonna be like, that's interesting, maybe I'll learn more about that one day, kind of mentality. And your partner is like that too. And so, but when it comes to like you look at it, you're like, this needs to change, this needs to do that, I wish this was different. And so this is spirit coming through saying, like, part of your journey and your twin flame reunion is recognizing that what you see in your partner, you also have. Okay. With that, let's go ahead and get started with your the cards in this reading. And so we have, oh my goodness. So right away. Okay. Oh my goodness. That is so interesting. Okay. I'm trying to calm down. Okay. So what I just heard is your partner actually, oh, this is going to be so weird because it's very weird. You guys are different internally and externally, but yet you're still transparent. So like, you're not hiding aspects, you're not lying to anyone, even maybe to yourself, but yeah. So what I'm saying is, like, what we just talked about, you and your partner, 100%, you like to stay within the depths, but so much your partner will literally seem like the bright light that you avoid, in the sense that what I just used that cave metaphor where you're like, this is really bright out here, I'm gonna go back, but you're gonna get used to that bright light, is what I'm hearing. Like, you and your partner are going to encourage each other to come out, right? Like the snails coming out greeting the spring. So you and your partner are going to encourage each other to come out of your shells. And you each, like, I'm hearing like you each are probably introverted, but you would call the other person more extroverted, which is just like more of a testament to the fact that you're both introverted. But you both are like, wow, look at how they interact with the world, that's so great, I wish I could be more like that bright light. And so you're like, you know what, as you discover the gold mine, right? We're seeing a lot of gold imagery. Gold shines just as bright. I'm seeing like that image, not sure how real it's in media, but when like there is like, it's all dark and then all of a sudden like the room is open to a gold room and it's like just the gold is reflecting the light. That's in the deep dark cave, right? So there is like, you are able to find a bright source of light, whether it be in the external or in the internal, is what I'm hearing. And that you and your partner are bringing each other together and understanding how to like flux from one energy to the other as it is suitable for not only you, but for the collective. So something too that is coming through is like, you guys really are students right now. And that's why you're shining so bright, is because you are providing this sense of hope to those around you, because you're willing to put in the work and to learn something new and foundational, is what I'm hearing. All right, let's go ahead and continue with your empowerment cards. And so, we have confidence. So I cannot stress how brightly orange these cards are coming. And we had like gold imagery just really shining through. Something came through like canaries. A yellow bird are typically what is taken into like coal mines to make sure the air quality is still good. So I'm hearing there's a lot of precautions too that you take in life. Again, yeah, you tend to go into hermit mode, so you take a lot of precautions when you go out into the real world. Or if you're doing shadow work, you're like, this requires a little bit more know-how. Okay, sorry. Let's go into this actual card, which is confidence. Be bold, rise up, and stand tall. Feel the fire in your soul. So, yet again, this is, I love, it's just matching up to the fact that you and your partner are, able to find this internal fire and bring it into an external. Oh, you guys are dragons, is what I just heard. So even if you like, you are still students of life. I just heard like dragons love reading books, right? And so, and so you really are. You both are such individuals that it almost is like, I'm just seeing like a study partner in life is kind of like a research partner in life, and a lab partner is really like how it's coming through, and this self-assuredness that you guys have as you internally, like you guys, I feel like pulling the confidence card, like you may think like, oh, I wouldn't really label myself confident because a lot of people would just call introverts not confident, but this is spirit coming through saying, no, you are confident, you're just also introverted, that just because the outside world is ruled by people who have different views doesn't mean that you are not confident. And then something too also coming through with spirit is, okay, I was gonna give a different message, but something else came through for you and your twin flame is that you guys are going to be confident in your connection. Like I just heard, or to come back to the whispering part, like they lean in when you talk and like vice versa, right? So that is, they literally are so confident about your connection, and so you are as well. So I'm hearing too, you guys might not define your connection for a really long time because you are just so sure of who you guys are and how well you guys meld together. So yeah, maybe that's why I'm like getting study partner, lab partners vibes, so research partners, because it is that sense of we have a professional relationship and I'm a workaholic kind of mentality. So like, of course you guys also have a romantic relationship, you love your work, is like really what's coming through. And again, it's like just this of course mentality. So I absolutely love it. Be bright, be bold. No one is doubting, or I'm sorry, if you are doubting yourself, just stop. Honestly, it seems like you aren't, so just claim that energy for yourself. If you have any fear, any anxiety around who you are and what you're capable of and who you're deserving of too. Okay, so we do still have some more empowerment cards. Oh, we have metamorphosis. So trust the process and be patient. Becoming cannot be rushed. Change is beautiful. All right, so something I'm actually picking up from this card is actually very clear and cut, because you seem mostly formed to me, is that you are just you're like in a chrysalis stage, in the sense that you're not struggling either, though. Like you understand that you're growing and learning kind of situation. And so this is really spirit just confirming that, like, you already are very confident about you and who you are. Something too I'm hearing is that your relationship is going to transform multiple times because you are going to transform multiple times. And so you and your partner are going to be very dynamic, and that is going to be, again, why you are such a great match for each other. And again, why you're going to sometimes disappear from the world and say, you know what, they don't understand us, they don't need to hear from us kind of situation, because when it's just you two, it makes sense, and that's important, especially during, so you may still pop out and interact with the world when you are the butterfly and you're like, hey, here's the information, here you go. But most of the time you enjoy being a chrysalis or even a caterpillar and learning and growing and being in those forming stages, right? Like I said, you don't really want to be in the struggling part where you bust out and become the butterfly. And then I'm hearing like you like to stay in your cave. So like butterflies, they want to go out into the world. You're like, I'm good right here. And that is, again, how you and your partner just like to live your life. So it's going to be this constant cycling process: butterfly, chrysalis, struggle, reaching out to the external world, returning again to student. So it's going to always be this process with you and your partner, but you guys are going to be beautifully matched with it. You're not going to grow tired. Something that just came through, yes, I think it's Eat, Pray, Love, where like the husband, her first husband, has like multiple jobs, like he keeps changing jobs and everything, and it's like kind of a strain on their relationship. It would be the opposite. Like, I obviously don't know how her husband ended out, but it would be like where you're able to find that person who is like, hey, I'm thinking about going back to school and doing this thing. And it'll be twofold. So for some of you, it'll be a great, I also wanted to take a course similar to that. Maybe we should sign up together for similar days and we can start having lunch dates on those days. Like something cute like that would happen. You're like, perfect. Or the opposite, where it's like, hey, I need to learn more about this and go into these studies. Can you handle the reins of like managing the household and whatever the external requires? And also something interesting is like you guys hand off between who's the divine masculine and who's the divine feminine is like what I'm hearing for that part. So sometimes you guys are going to be like, you're either both balanced and both your divine masculine and divine feminines taking care of yourselves and just being in alignment with each other, or you guys are in alignment with each other as you balance those energies and switch off from someone who's taking care of the household and is like, yeah, I don't need to be in school right now, let me do that. And something for that connection too is it's like your moment, and like that acceptance comes from at dinner. It's like, oh, what'd you learn today? How'd you do that? And be like, oh, I just heard something really cute. Is like your partner probably, if that is how it goes, is they probably like read an article or something. They're like, oh, what are you learning in class? And they like share that. Your partner the next day like goes and like actually research an article so that they kind of know what you're talking about and to like be learning with you, even though they're managing the external. So it's still like this constant support that you guys have for each other while understanding your needs inside and out. We still have so many cards for you. It's just beautiful. I love this connection for you guys. Again, it's just confidence coming through. Like, of course this is how it's going to work out. Of course you guys know how to do this. And if the outside world is like, your relationship is weird, you're like, maybe you're the weird ones, or maybe that's because that's why we work, because we are weird. So we needed someone weird like us. Match your weird is what I just heard. Okay. So now we have one more of these. Oh, we have gratitude. Be grateful for abundance, live in appreciation for what you have, and more good things will come. So this is coming through for me more so for advice for how to bring this reunion even further into it, because you were so used to being inside the cave and you're like, I don't want to go out into the external world if that's what this is asking of me, and it's not. So this is Spirit actually saying, just be grateful for what you currently have in your life, be grateful for what you've currently learned and how far you have come, right? It's asking you to recognize that gold mine, clean up that mirror and see I'm hearing like maybe make a list of like what you would be grateful for to have in a partner. And then understand that what you write in that list, you are also capable of. So, and something very important that's coming through, why it's important for you to understand that you also are capable of these things. It's not to say like you need to keep holding on and support yourself while you wait on the twin flame reunion. It's actually so that you understand how to support each other in the relationship. Because we just mentioned how you either both will be balanced. So you need to recognize how you have those abilities within yourself to take care of yourself inside and out, because there is going to always be that certain independence about you. And again, it's not like it's going to be, for those of you who are like, oh, I really don't want that. That means you're the other connection in this reading where you recognize what you're grateful for in your partner, and they do those things when you need it. And then when they need you to hold those reins and take care of the outside world, you're able to do that because you've seen that, you've done that gratitude, you've cleaned that mirror, and you've said, yeah, that's right. We can go ahead and switch places. I'm now the master. I've finished my learning. I'm like literally got my master's degree. I got that new research project that is paying for our household income. Yeah. You want to go learn a new language? Awesome. Go have fun. And then every once in a while, maybe we'll, I don't know, watch a movie in that language and we can practice, or you can teach me some of the words you learned. Like, you guys will figure it out. That's my point. So just take that how it will. But this is why it's important for you to recognize it within you, because you either will always need to know this certain level of independence, which is great for your character, or so that you can take over the independence when your partner needs you to. Okay. With that, let's go ahead and see what your divine energy is asking of you. Ask with sincerity. Okay. This is so beautiful. This is so interesting too. So right now, because I'm really getting like very much like student vibes, because that's just typically you prefer to be learning in life. And within your connection, this is twofold, because a lot of this advice has actually been like, this is how teaching you how to be in a relationship. Teaching you how to be in your ideal relationship and to accept certain parts of yourself, right? You have confidence this is going to be meant for you, but you guys are going to always be dynamic. And so there is a certain gratitude that comes with that, because changes are difficult. Transforming is difficult. So this is twofold with spirit. Something with ask with sincerity is when you need more support from your partner, you just simply need to ask them for it and they will be able to provide it. So if you need to come out of that cave, then you can. But if you're like unable to, you can ask them to either come join you or just ask them for support in helping bring out your external. And so that also is something that you're able to do with yourself, as what's coming through from spirit, right? So chances are, if you're here, you have a certain spirituality, a faith about you. And so wherever your guides are, you're able to ask with sincerity. I'm hearing too, like because a lot of times there's a very logical mind here. And I'm hearing like ask with sincerity what's coming through, because it's not like, maybe it's because it's not just one person. So you wouldn't just ask like the library information desk. You would also need to maybe go, maybe the best example I can use is like you're working on a research project and there's something that you're really trying to understand. Maybe you're trying to learn about communication because that's something that you're like, I need to understand this a little bit more in order to be a better partner in my life. And so with that, you're reading this book and you're like, this really seems to understand, but I have certain questions and I haven't been able to find any other subject material on it. And so ask with sincerity, email the author. There's probably a way to get in contact with the person who gave that information that you learned from. So this is really what I'm getting from this, is ask with sincerity is to help you break out of your shell even more. Is whenever you are unsure, whenever you're like, this is just part of my path and this is the next step to direction, is that you might need to call on interacting with the direct world more, in the sense of, one, understanding, as long as you come with sincerity and respect, chances are there isn't a true boundary, because communication in this world is so like thin. You really can send an email to anyone. So it's just how you send it. And so Spirit is trying to give you, again, that confidence, not only within yourself, but how you interact with the outside world. And then, of course, we just come back with ask with sincerity for when you need support and whoever you need that from. So I definitely, a lot of this coming through for me is, it's like, I feel some of you are already in your twin flame connection, and they're, like I said, you just don't have a label on it. So you're kind of like in this and you're like, I guess they will be in my life forever. And then you're like kind of like cool with that. And that's literally how you're treating the situation. And then there's the other side who's like, wow, I can't wait for this. I want to work on these elements of myself so that I can bring this into it. But then what's going to happen is that the timing is it's blurred. That dirty mirror. It's blurred because not only the dirty mirror, right? Also, because they're just going to like seamlessly come into your life. Like, how do you pick out individual rays of the sun is like how I'm feeling. Like, unless there's a cloud, you can't really tell. So at a certain point, you might already like realize that they're in your life and like not have realized it until like a certain cloud comes over, is what I'm hearing. Clouds can be happy or sad, you know? It doesn't have to be like a storm cloud or anything. But that is essentially the imagery that I'm getting, is that like it's definitely going to be within this year. I'm hearing like at least 6 months. Like 6 months for you to recognize it, to be clear. Yeah. Yep. 6 months for you. 5 to 6 months for you to recognize it. Yeah. So, and a part of it too, for those individuals, is as you get more comfortable asking with sincerity for support, something that you're going to realize is it's going to be something that triggers you, because this is a long time reading. You got a lot going on. You're learning a lot. So what you take from this reading is what your mind is going to help you remember later on, is what I'm hearing. And so you're going to notice that you are asking a certain person for more support than others, and that they give it. And you're going to be like, oh, interesting. Oh, interesting. They actually, yeah, they fit all these other elements of me too. And same thing. You're just going to be like, great, they're in my life, and I guess they're going to be in it forever. So it's still going to be the same mentality. Some of you are already there and able to say, yes, I'm there now. And then some of you are going to be able to say it in 5 to 6 months. And that is absolutely beautiful. I actually still have tarot and then our book divination, but this has been just absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, claim that confidence energy, claim that gratitude. Like I said, it's just a matter of cleaning a dirty mirror, it seems. But otherwise, you are like living your life and you perfectly are okay with who you are. All right, so the tarot. Okay. Interesting. So we have the Jack or the Knight of Cups. Interesting. Wow. I was gonna say I'm so shocked by this. I cannot stress enough how much I am channeling your actual energy. So yeah, I literally felt like I looked up from a book and was like, oh, this is unexpected. The reason why I'm laughing is because this is the romance card, and that's why it's unexpected. Because I literally was like, oh, I really wouldn't have expected that. Because it just seems like you guys want to be like buried in your books kind of situation, just buried in learning and like sharing information. But Spirit is coming through saying like, this is going to be part of your twin flame reunion. This is actually going to be confirmation, a statement that you can really recognize that you are going to be in the first stages of it. Because I'm hearing this is going to be lifelong. You guys are dynamic, but it's always going to be romantic, is what I'm hearing. So take that how it resonates. Some of you are like, ugh, I don't really like romance. But this is for those, but it's going to be, I cannot stress enough, you are just matches for each other. So however you're like, this is what I call romance, that is how your life is going to be. This is just confirmation from Spirit that this connection is definitely meant for you. And a true twin flame connection and mirroring of each other. So something else I'm really focusing on is how the tails are connected. And so I'm hearing from Spirit. Okay, I'm hearing from Spirit a couple things. First, that the tails are connected. This is showing us, too, that you always do mirror each other, even when it seems like you're looking away from each other and you're simply supporting perhaps the collective, right? You're either supporting the collective or like one of you is more internal while the other is external. So whether or not you guys are facing each other or not, this is just confirmation that you guys are always still going to be connected. Again, just that confidence coming through, like, of course this is my person, we're always together. Like, what did you think we were? Adult roommates? Anyway, sorry. I can't stress enough, like, I feel like people are just gonna question you guys, and you guys are gonna be like, what? Get out of here. Like, we're in the new millennium, for crying out loud. Like, I just hear it so much that you guys just like shrug off other people's like opinions and like their shocked stares. You're like, pick up your jaw. Okay. Anyways, I'm really, it's just fun. This is just such fun energy. So you're really gonna always have a great time of your life with your partner. So something I'm hearing, because sometimes like you feel really down, and this is like your partner is always going to be able to like support you in those down moments, whether it's bringing you out of it, whether it's like cuddling with you when you need it. That's just really coming through for me. It's like so much love and connection here. Wow, that is so cool. All right, let's get our next one. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. There was another message with this is Pisces. So time of this reading, we're in Pisces season. So very interesting. I was, like I said, for most of you, I was like, it seems like you already know who you're with. So this is again confirmation that you're there, and that like you probably will start seeing more romance coming into your life. And then the other thing too is that okay, I don't think they are a Pisces or you. what I will say is that this is like very significant in both of your charts. So it may mean like you both have it for Venus. It may mean that for you personally, it's a part of your sidereal as well as your Venus. Maybe your birth tarot card is associated with the Pisces card. Maybe you always see the zodiac sign throughout your life, and then all of these things your partner could also be doing, or have like slightly different ways that they connect to the Pisces sign. Maybe you're obsessed with fish. Maybe that's what you're researching. But the elements of the Pisces sign is just going to be, I'm hearing a motif or theme, not only throughout your life, but also your partner. So I would just encourage, you're a researcher, I would just encourage you to look into that and find out more about Pisces, what it means, and the planets. Yes. Sorry, I'm just laughing at myself. The planets. Anyways. So let's go ahead and continue on. So we have next the Knight of Swords. So interesting that this is coming through. Wow. Okay. I'm honestly, and I'm picking up Queen of Swords vibe too, so it's very interesting, especially after we just heard this. So something, there we go. The message that is coming through is that, like, you don't lock away your heart. Like, you always remain as someone who's able to share information, someone who's on the pursuit of knowledge, is what I'm hearing. But you still, confirmations, you are just very much right where you need to be. It is also confirmation that you and your partner are true matches of each other, and that you both have these energies within you. So we have the Cups and the Swords, which a lot of people think are like opposites of each other. And so you both have these energies within yourselves. And so sometimes you guys will be one, sometimes you'll be the other, and then you might be vice versa. But that is why you are not the Queen of Swords, because you don't lock away your heart. You're still so very accepting to this very romantic Knight of Cups energy. So absolutely beautiful match. Yes, I just feel like I'm confirming so much about like how this partnership is going to be so absolutely gorgeous and just really support you in your journey, and that you're not meant to put aside your mental energy, your mental efforts, anything that is important to your goals in life. Your partner is going to be so supportive of. Again, ask with sincerity. So just be open with your communication with your partner, including the emotions that you have on your heart, and they're going to see you eye for eye. Okay, and so we have the Seven of Clubs coming out. First off, this little image is so cute because it's like two beavers building together, and I just, oh my goodness. It is like you guys literally are building you guys literally are going to be building the foundation together in order to help you cross the river. So because you're making a bridge, and you guys are making it not just for yourselves, but for yourselves to like cross. I know there's more to what they're doing, and that's not the thing, but this is the messages coming out. I just can't get over how much these beavers are staring into each other's eyes instead of like continuing on building the project. And so this really is kind of just like a moment of gratitude and recognition that I'm seeing, that you guys will always appreciate the fact that you are builders, learners, and like you guys see each other for who you are, and I just like get this really sense of awe, and you guys are something too coming up with the Seven of Wands is like you guys very much enjoy being at home. So again, you guys both are probably introverts and maybe view the other as the hard worker, the extrovert, the one who is outgoing and has all the friends, and they say the same thing about you. So just absolutely beautiful energy coming in to connect with each other on this. I really can't say enough. Like you guys, I'm just echoing everything that's coming through, and this is confirmation again that you guys are these absolute beauties. Let's go ahead and get your book divination. That way, I mean, I can just stop saying the same things over and over again. Pile 3 reunion. There we go. Okay, so retreat. Darling, it appears that you've become confused or conflicted by other people's suggestions. It's time for you to take a break from them so that you can better hear your own feelings and emotions. Our love life will bloom as you spend time alone with me on a spiritual level, meditation, or by yourself. By this page, I want to convey to you that you need to spend time by yourself, relax your mind, then meditate upon your true feelings and thoughts on our current situation. Surrender to the universe and align with a positive vibration. Be sure to take action based on any intuitive feeling you have. This strengthens your energy and insight, which helps you to rapidly attract and manifest a harmonious union. Yes, okay, what did I say? Like, some people in the external world will say, no, that seems weird. And so just go into your cave, take a moment, and recognize where you're at and where you want to be. That's also what's coming up with the Seven of Wands too, by the way, I forgot to mention, is that is you protecting your energy, and that your partner literally is of the same mind as you, and they aren't going to ask you to break down your barriers, is what I'm hearing. They're not going to ask you to take down your walls, your cave walls. You can't take down your cave walls. That would take down the whole cave, possibly blocking off that route, or destroying it altogether, right? So this is how you and your partner really recognize and see each other for who you are and what you're capable of. So absolutely beautiful. Take that time to retreat, and all you have to do is just clean up that mirror and recognize that you have all those brilliant, great qualities within yourself. And as you see that, you're going to recognize that your twin flame is just all of a sudden within your awareness. Pile 3, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. I hope this resonated with you. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Thank you again for being here. Comment below, gain some support from a like-minded community. Let us know what you're learning if you want. If you want to stay in your cave, that's okay too. But either way, thank you again for being here, and I will definitely see you guys next time. Blessed be.